Hey, good morning. Happy Monday to you, and welcome to the Sherri-Lee Show. I am coming to you today with a little bit of a different agenda than normal. I thought I would come in today and talk to you about content. You've heard me talking about the Content Creation Club recently a lot, and the doors close on Thursday. And so I thought, well, of course I'm coming to you and I'm talking to you about the value of having high engaging content on your Facebook page. And then I realized what today was for me. Today is February 25th and 2019. And in 2011, on this day, my life changed forever, and I had no idea it would change this much. And sometimes, we have to go with the things that are unexpectedly thrust on us that we hadn't planned for. I just came off of a planning session with my VIP group that we do every Monday to plan our week and plan about what we're doing for the week and how we're growing our business and achieving our goals. And it's great to make plans, but unexpected things come up and throw a monkey wrench in your plans. Hi, Shelly. Good to see you. And when that happens, you need to be resilient. You need to be adaptable, and you need to be able to go with the flow, because you never know what those things are going to be. And 8 years ago, I got up. It was a Friday. I got up and I got my kids ready, and we went out to a swimming class. Then we had lunch, and then we went out to a homeschool science class. And while I was sitting there waiting for them, I got a phone call from my husband. And in that phone call, all he said to me was, "I've changed the locks on our home. Don't bother coming back. There's lots of hotels in Langley." And then he hung up the phone. And those were the last words he said to me. And that's how he ended our 14-year marriage. And from that moment on, things went completely different than how I thought life was going to go. Clearly, this wasn't a fabulous marriage if somebody could end it that way. Clearly, there was problems. Clearly, we had not been getting along as well as we would have liked. But this was out of left field. This totally threw me for a loop. I was not expecting it, and was totally unprepared. Had no income, had no job. Discovered later on he'd left me with a bunch of debt, almost $1 million, and a bunch of his angry customers chasing me because no one could find him because he left. He was gone. And in the first 18 months, it was panic and freak out and depression, and I didn't know if I was coming or going. Every day was a blur. I just knew I had to figure out some way to support myself and my kids, and figure out how to heal my kids and myself, and to somehow make sure that this didn't have a devastating impact on our lives for the rest of our lives. I knew it would have an impact. There's no way that kids at 6 and 10 can have that happen to them and not have it have an impact. To have a parent just walk away from them like that without a word is going to have a huge impact. But it doesn't have to be a negative impact, and our reaction to it is a choice. And while saying that, the first 18 months was pretty darn hard. There was a lot of bad behavior on everyone's part as we toughed through some really tough times. I came to a lot of realizations and accepted a lot of things about my marriage that I had not. And I started to break free of what I realized had been some serious brainwashing during my marriage that left me really almost incapacitated in being able to function. And it wasn't easy. I left a wake of people in my path that I think I hurt. And at the time thought they hurt me, and was very defensive and was not open and was not loving as much as I wanted to be. I was always loving with the kids, There was times I wasn't loving with my kids, but I always had love for my kids and always came back to that place of loving. But there wasn't a lot of love for myself. There wasn't a lot of love for other people, and I was very scared and defensive and overwhelmed. And this was unexpected and unplanned, and I didn't know how to prepare for this. And I just kind of went on an automated response of, I just have to figure it out. And thank God I had my kids, because without them, I don't think I would have gotten out of bed for a very long time, if ever. Without them, I would have probably ended up drinking way too much. The depression was very, very, very deep. But about 18 months after that happened, and we had relocated, the debt had been dealt with, the superficial surface wounds were starting to heal. I was becoming aware of the deep inner wounds that had come from that marriage and from 14 years of someone systematically, verbally and financially and psychologically abusing me, and really just cutting my legs off at my knees at every chance he could get. Did everything he could to destroy what little self-esteem I had. And at about 18 months after that happened, I just realized I had enough awareness that I could choose if this was going to be a bad experience or a good experience as we perceived it for the rest of our lives. Hi, Mary. And I determined one morning, I told my daughter that this was going to be the best experience that ever happened to me. And she thought I was crazy. And, from that moment forward, pretty much everything I've done since then has been about creating something bigger and better and more fabulous than it was before, so that none of us can look back and say that moment ruined my life, or that left a gap in my life I've never been able to fill, because it wasn't our choice for things to go that way or for him to leave, but we had to adapt. We just had to figure out a way to not let that define us and to realize his behavior was not a reflection on us. And I was, in this planning session in the VIP, I was just talking to a friend of mine in there who at the end of last year had been struggling with getting thrown in Facebook jail. He had a multitude of groups and pages that he managed, and he was posting reminders in those groups and on his pages about a show that he did every week. And so every week he was going into those groups and copying and pasting the same post into those groups every week and reminding them of a show that these people wanted to know about. And eventually Facebook put him in Facebook jail, and he wasn't able to post on Facebook at all or in any of his groups that he had grown. He had spent time and effort growing and had really controlled his management of those groups. And then he was out of Facebook jail, and he posted, and he got thrown back in Facebook jail. And so we talked about it. We said, really be careful, pull back, don't comment. Well, for the months, anytime he commented or posted in his groups, he was thrown in Facebook jail again. And, I've done everything I could to help him. We've researched, we've put in support tickets and all the rest of it. He's changed up his strategy. He's not posting the same things. And here he is today going, that was unexpectedly a gift, because I enlisted people in my community to take over part of what I was doing in those groups. And it's freed up so much time for me, and my engagement in the groups and the responsiveness in the groups and the people who are buying my products are still at the same level they were as last August, but I'm doing a fraction of the work that I used to do. And that's a sign of resiliency and adaptation. That's a sign of going, okay, I was doing things the way I want. I have a choice here. I can sit and bitch and complain that it's not working the way I want it to and keep trying to force my way into working. I had spent 14 years, probably 10 of those years, taking 100% responsibility for my marriage, taking 100% responsibility for everything that happened, and allowing him to get away with not being responsible. and trying to figure out how to have a successful marriage while I was crushing inside, while I was being crushed inside. My friend had been using Facebook to promote his business, and the way he was doing it no longer worked anymore, and Facebook put him in Facebook jail. We both found ways to creatively adapt and come out better on the other side of it. Two different examples that really represent how important resiliency, trying things. You know how many things I tried in the last 8 years that didn't work? That failed, that left me feeling like a failure, that didn't get me the results that I wanted. And I could have let each one of those stop me. And they did for a minute. And then I adapted and I moved forward with another plan. And that's what my friend did. And that's what you need to do in life and in business if you want something different than what you have right now. Whether you have a major event like an end of a relationship like I did, or a foreclosure on your house, or a bankruptcy or Facebook jail, whatever it is, none of those things are life-ending unless you let it end your life. And you have to do the digging to find you underneath all the garbage again and stay true to yourself. And you have to be resilient, and you have to keep trying. It's not so much different as managing, your business on Facebook. My friend had to figure out a new way to get his message out on Facebook so that people could still hear what he had to hear. If you're posting content and nobody is responding, don't blame Facebook. Don't say Facebook's the problem. Figure out what else you could do that makes people respond. It's what I did. I could have easily curled up and just cried and gone into bankruptcy at $1 million debt and gotten a job and barely ever, survived. And for the first few years, it was survival was all I was able to do. But when you're resilient and you keep focusing on what you want to accomplish and what you want to change, you eventually find creative new ways to get what you want. So, not the thing I planned on sharing with you today, but it became apparent that I needed to share this. And it's a message of resiliency no matter how minor or major the situation is. If you're not happy with your content, if you're not happy with the results that you're getting on Facebook, if you're not happy with the engagement you're getting on Facebook, find something else. Join the Content Creation Club. Find some other source. Be creative. Ask people. Change the way you're doing what you're doing if you don't like the results you're getting. And don't personalize those results. Don't look at it and go, make it a personal slight on you. It's just a moment. It's just a moment, and it's just temporary. And ask yourself, what else could I do here to get the results that I want? And when you approach with a curiosity, when you approach a problem with curiosity, you find the solutions in the funniest places, in the weirdest places. I wasn't happy in my marriage. I only had one. In my marriage, I wasn't asking the question, but I knew something had to change. But I wasn't willing to change it. I couldn't change it. I was way too beaten down. I was way too insecure. He had convinced me I couldn't survive without him, that I couldn't earn enough money to support my kids, that I couldn't raise my kids, that I wasn't a good enough mom, that I needed him to be there to keep everything on even keel. He had convinced me of that. I couldn't leave because of how crippled I was emotionally about my ability to do it. And that day when he changed the locks and disappeared, he gave me the best gift he'd ever given me. And it's become something I'm grateful for every day. Was it easy? No. but it's been worth every minute of it. And I just want you to think about, look at your life. Look at your life. And if there's stuff in your life, in your business, in any aspect that you're unhappy with, ask yourself what else I could do here. Don't look for the answer yet, because you can't come up with the answer with the same tools that you've got right now. So you've got to open up to the question and let the answer come to you. Okay, so ask yourself, I don't like this. This isn't working for me right now. What else could I do? And see if you could find a solution. Be like my friend and find a solution. He's got other people contributing to his groups, and his groups are still contributing to him the same way as they did before. So what else could I do here that would help me have the results that I want? And when you start asking that question and don't look for the answer overtly, the answer will come to you and you will be creative. And, honestly, that's where the Content Creation Club came from. People were saying to me, I'm not happy with my content. I created the 1,000 likes game and I thought, I want people to have results. Well, I can't let them figure out what content to use anymore because the content they've been using, they aren't happy with. So I've got to be able to give them the content that will get them the engagement, because I know what that is. I know what Facebook wants you to feed them. I know what it takes to make Facebook your friend. I need to give them the content. And after the game, people started saying to me, how do I get more content? How do I get more content? Hi, Amir. How do I get more content? And so I created a library for my VIPs, and they have a library, but then they started saying, how do I get more content? How do I get more content? I had to start saying, what do I need to do here? And out of driving home from visiting my mom came the Content Creation Club, which has been tremendous. And I'm so excited. We have our first download of content coming out on Friday. To everybody who signs up by Thursday, you get a lifetime membership for a one-time investment. Piece of cake. You will get 30 pieces of content delivered to you every month to use on any of your social media channels. Some of it will work and some of it won't work. The stuff that doesn't work, you look at it and you go, what could I do different here? And then you move on. It's not Facebook out to get you. It does not have agendas against you. It's not that there's anything wrong with you. It's just that didn't work. Learn from it and try something else. My marriage didn't work, and he gave me a gift, and my life is way better. Is it perfect? Is it everything? Is it like somebody I watch on Facebook and see their A-game life? No, but who lives that? Life is an abundance of everything. That's a friend of mine said that recently. It's about having an abundance of everything, emotions, ups and downs, and goods and bads, and posts that engage and posts that don't, and growth and stalling and advancing and sitting still. It's an abundance of everything. And I want you to grab it. I want you to grab it however that looks for you. Yeah, that's all I've got to say today. Thanks for being here. I'll be back next Monday, 10 a.m. We'll see you on Facebook.